Vancouver. I'm McEnerny-Ogle, Mayor for the City of Vancouver, and today is Wednesday, November 18th. Thank you to Judy and Jeb, our American Sign Language interpreters today. Well, the COVID-19 case numbers are rising at an alarming rate in Clark County and in Washington State, as well as across the country and across the globe. And according to the metrics established by the state of Washington, Clark County remains firmly in a high-risk category, with the most recent infection rate at more than 250 cases per 100,000 people. Before Governor Inslee indefinitely had paused the reopening phases this past summer, the target was to be 25 cases per 100,000 in order to move from our current phase 2 to phase 3. But last week, Clark County averaged more than 100 cases per day. Today, Clark County announced 171 cases. And as of this recording, we have 56 patients in the hospital in Clark County. So currently, the cumulative numbers are nearly 7,000 positive cases, nearly 500 active cases. We've had 83 deaths. So the rate of the new cases per 100,000 right now is over 254. That dramatic surge in cases has put a strain on Clark County Public Health, their department, and their ability to quickly reach people who have tested positive for COVID. And that has impacted their ability to identify and notify close contacts in a timely manner. And as a result, Clark County Public Health has prioritized their interviewing cases and identifying priority locations where exposures may have occurred. So they will no longer be identifying and notifying close contacts of positive cases. Public health data also shows that the case numbers are increasing across age groups and demographics, with those in the 20 to 49 years old as being consistently having the highest number of new confirmed cases. So it's important to note that here in Clark County, 42% of those infected were actually infected by another family member. And the next highest category is from private social gatherings at 18%, and the third source is office settings at just about 5%. Further, the death rate from COVID is more than 2% nationally, and while the influenza is 0.11% nationally. So it's obvious that there's no doubt that the COVID is much more contagious and more deadly than the flu. As you've probably heard, Governor Inslee on Sunday announced statewide restrictions through December 14 to address this frightening increase in the COVID cases and to help slow the spread. The restrictions include no social gatherings with people outside your household unless you quarantine for 14 days or quarantine for 7 days and have a negative COVID test result. Restaurants and bars are closed for indoor service, but can offer takeout and have limited outdoor seating. Retail and grocery stores are limited to 25% of occupancy. Religious services are limited to 25% occupancy and no more than 200 people, whichever is fewer. And fitness facilities and gyms are closed for indoor operations, as are bowling alleys, museums, zoos, aquariums, and movie theaters. Unfortunately, that means that Vancouver's Furstenberg and Marshall Community Centers are now closed through at least December 14th and will be eligible to reopen when the current set of restrictions have been lifted by the governor's office. As an essential child care service, however, the Parks and Recreation Department's distance learning day camps are exempt from the new restrictions set by the governor's office and will continue as planned. And I know these restrictions are particularly challenging at this time of year, and that we will miss getting together for families and friends to celebrate Thanksgiving and all the special holidays. But the public health data continues to show that public events and private social gatherings are leading sources of that COVID exposure. I know Terry and I will miss being with family, and we'll be by ourselves at home. Our son John and family will be celebrating without us, and we're just cooking a smaller turkey and having a very small Thanksgiving this year. While it's absolutely critical for us to stay connected to our friends and loved ones, I echo the advice of our public health experts and highly encourage you to do the same. Look for a different way to celebrate this year. Maybe you want to drop off meals to loved ones and friends or neighbors, go for a physically distanced the 5K turkey trot or the walk through a park or out near Vancouver Lake, or donate to a local food bank and some nonprofits that you might have. So look for a different way to celebrate this year. In fact, Clark County Public Health actually has a fact sheet with some tips for holiday gatherings that can be downloaded from their website. The governor has acknowledged that these restrictions are both an economic and a public health crisis, and that the impact on local businesses is not being taken lightly. He has pledged to continue to provide support for local businesses and to help mitigate those financial impacts on businesses and their employees. The state has committed $50 million in aid. Businesses can also apply for the Paycheck Protection Plan. Those are the forgivable loans from the Small Business Administration or from their local bank. And if workers are kept in their jobs, the loans are not required to be paid back. In addition, the City of Vancouver is accepting applications for street eats areas to provide temporary outdoor dining options that can help restaurants increase outdoor seating capacity as they face the new restrictions. If you're able, please support our local businesses as much as possible during this holiday season. Takeout orders or delivery, tip generously, take advantage of outdoor seating wherever possible, and consider local businesses for your holiday gifts. And that might include the night market in Vancouver or the Vancouver Farmers Market. They're open much later this year. Remember that many people who have COVID do not experience any symptoms, but can easily infect others. So please follow the recommended safety guidelines for public health. And you've known these for some time. Wear your face coverings and stay physically distanced in your day-to-day lives. Take social gatherings and celebrations online. Wash your hands frequently, isolate, and get tested if you're experiencing any of the symptoms or are exposed by a close contact. These continue to be challenging times for all of us. And while things may never quite be the same again, just remember that this pandemic will not last forever. There are lights at the end of the tunnel. Medical discoveries are providing better outcomes for those who do actually get the virus. And I'm sure you've heard of a number of the vaccine trials that are looking very promising. So with some patience and some compassion, creativity, and some kindness, we can get through this, Vancouver. Let's enjoy a safe virtual gathering with families and friends to share our gratitude, our good cheer, and a look to the promise of a coming new year. Thank you very much. Take good care of yourself. Be well.